With the Roman Empire effectively gone, Gaul disintegrated into a mass of small barbarian states. Clovis has a serious claim to have been the first king of France. His name, in its later version of Louis, was to be given to 18 successors before the French monarchy ended. It would be pleasant indeed if we could look upon Clovis in a heroic light, as we can Vercingetorix. Alas, we cannot. He was a monster. He eliminated his enemies occasionally in a legitimate battle, as he did in 486 at Soissons, when he effectively put an end to all Western Roman authority outside Italy, but far more frequently by cold-blooded murder, cheerfully assassinating all potential threats, Frankish and otherwise. On Christmas Day, 496, he was received into the Catholic faith, leading eventually to the religious unification of France and Germany, which was to endure for the next millennium. And it was thanks to that same baptism that 300 years later, Charlemagne and Pope Leo III could forge the alliance that gave birth to the Holy Roman Empire. Throughout some 250 of those years, the Merovingian Dynasty ruled France, and came dangerously near to destroying it. The Frankish kings cheerfully waging countless and pointless little family wars, even when they were not so engaged. Violence was never far away. Clovis's son, Chilperic, dubbed the Nero and Herod of his time, introduced eye gouging as a new sort of punishment before being stabbed to death in 584 by an unknown assailant. There were in theory 27 Merovingian kings. For much of the time, France was once again broken up into an infinity of minor kingdoms. Frequently, there were several kings reigning at the same time. The most famous of them all, Dagobert I. In 630 or thereabouts, he annexed Alsace, the Vosges, and Ardennes, creating a new duchy, and he made Paris his capital. Though his debaucheries were famous, he was deeply religious, and founded the Basilica of Saint Denis, in which he was the first French king to be buried. From the 10th century onward, all but 3 were to join him there. These were the Dark Ages, and in France they were very dark indeed. The only glimmering of light came from the Church, which, unlike the state, remained firm and well organized. Thanks to the benefactions of the faithful and the efficient exaction of tithes, church property was steadily increasing, as indeed was church power. Every ruler knew all too well that he was in constant danger of excommunication, or even of an interdict, which would condemn not only himself, but all his subjects as well. The black-robed Benedictines found time to study, to copy manuscripts, immensely important in the centuries before the invention of printing, and generally to keep alive a little spark of learning and humanity in the bleak, depressing world in which they lived. By the 7th and 8th centuries, the Merovingian kings had descended so far into dissipation and debauchery that they had effectively ceased to rule. The real power of the kingdom now rested with the distinguished head official known as the mayor of the palace, a post that had now become hereditary. In 751, Pepin forced the last king, Childeric III, into a monastery and had himself proclaimed king of the Franks by the Pope. In doing so, he founded a new royal dynasty named after his father, the Carolingian.